What's up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm ModestlyQue. My real name is LaQuisha, but I just like to go by ModestlyQue. I really wanted to change my name, but I don't know what to change it to. So moving right along, I wanted to start a beginner series for people who may be beginners who watch YouTube and don't know where to start. What I wanted to do was show you guys how to apply foundation, the different ways that you can apply it, because I know as a YouTuber we tend to forget about those people who are beginners and want to learn how to apply makeup, those basic steps like applying foundation, choosing your shade, things of such. If you're interested in that, make sure you keep watching. So because I have more of like a drier skin type, I like to go in with primers that are hydrating, maybe smoothing sometimes depending on how I'm feeling. Moisturizer, I gotta make sure that I moisturize. So these are steps that you want to make sure you are doing. If you have oily skin, you want to lean towards a primer that is more mattifying. So if you reading labels and you see mattifying, that may be the primer for you. More mature skin, you may want to find like a smoothing primer. Oily again, or if you just have combination or large pores, you want to find something with poreless. I have drier skin. I am kind of like, I don't know if my skin is like transitioning into something else, but sometimes I wake up in the morning and I'm like oily, so I don't really know what's going on. I do have large pores in this area, so I usually use the primer by Benefits Professional. That's what it's called. They have those at Ulta for like $12, those sample sizes. So if you're interested in something for like your pores, you can use that, or you can just go get like samples of products, see how you like them. Primers are just to make sure that your foundation is going to last all day. So if you work, you definitely want to have a primer, and it's going to, just prep the skin for the makeup. So you definitely want to make sure that you're using primers. Like, I know a lot of people don't even use primers, and it's a huge part of makeup. I am more drier, so I like to use the Mario Badescu facial spray. Some people use it as a setting spray. I have done that before, but I also like to use it to hydrate my skin before I apply makeup. So that's what I'm going to do right now. I love to have primers that really feel like they're hydrating, that really feels like a moisturizer. So Makeup Forever is a really good primer, the hydrating primer. It's called Step 1 Base Hydrate, and it comes in a white. They have different ones. They have one that's smoothing, one that's mattifying, radiant, all types of primers. So whatever you're going for, I would suggest that you try out Makeup Forever. I know that some people may be on a budget. You can definitely like go to the beauty supply or a drugstore and find a primer that can work for you. It's all about trial and error, so make sure that you are going to test out different things to work particularly for you. Everything that I have will not work for you, so make sure that you are testing out products to see what works best for your skin. So I'm gonna go ahead and apply this, and you're gonna see how it just looks like a moisturizer. What's very weird is that before I even knew what primers were for, when I did like start out using them, I used to just apply them like very thinly and not even all over my face, because I didn't know exactly what they were used for. So if you want to like find out like in more depth, you can definitely Google. Like Google is life. Everything on Google is not right, but for the most part you can find out some stuff about makeup, and whatever you want to find out, you can find it on Google. I'm gonna tell you why I like the hydrating primer by Makeup Forever. I like that primer because of the fact that when I apply it, it really feels like very cooling, like it's really like doing something for my skin. It got like a little tacky feel. It's not like overwhelmingly tacky, but that just lets me know that it's working. Okay, so the foundation that I chose to use today is the NYX Total Control Drop Foundation. I like this foundation is for all skin types, so that's exactly like my reasoning for picking it up, because it's for any skin type, not just dry skin, and you definitely can work with it. It's a more sheer coverage depending on how many drops you use. So if I wanted to use like 1 or 2 drops, then I'm gonna have like a skin like finish. If I use more, it builds. So if you want that full coverage, then you may want to use more drops, and you also want to apply it with a brush instead of a sponge. I like a more natural look, so I tend to apply my foundations with sponges, but brushes are good as well. So this brush by Makeup Forever, I really like it because it is a flat top and is really gonna buff that foundation in and give you a very airbrush like look. So if you're interested in picking this brush up, this is a Makeup Forever brush, and it's the number 104. I also like to use sponges, as I said. This is a very affordable sponge. It is like $5 to $7. I'm not really sure, but definitely affordable compared to the Beauty Blender, which is like $20. So if you want a sponge that works well, make sure you check out Real Techniques. You can find it at your local drugstore, Ulta, wherever you want to get it from. That's where you can find it. So what I'm going to do is go in on one side of my face with the foundation using a brush, and the other side with a sponge, so you can kind of like figure out what would you lean towards. So with the drop foundation, I like to drop it on my skin, but yeah, I need to find a mirror, so I'll be right back. There are some very like advanced techniques that you can do as well, which I'm not going to go into because we're trying to keep it basic. So I want you guys to learn as much as you can from one video. So as you can see, I'm just dropping foundation everywhere. This is what it's looking like. And this is also a mixture of 2 different shades. So I'm using a brush on this side, and I'm gonna buff that in. You wanna lean more towards like circular motions or like stippling motions, so that you can get a nice amount of coverage. So basically I'm using the brush to show you like a more full coverage type look. So as far as like choosing your foundations, you want to make sure you understand undertones. Some people are warm, some people are cool, some people are in between, which is like neutral or like a olivey shade. I am in between, so I could use a cool or warm foundation with also using a more neutral shade as well. The way that you can figure out your undertones is looking at your veins. If your veins are more green, then you are, I won't say warm. If your veins look like bluish, then you are a cool tone. And if you can barely see your vein color, like if it looks like a mixture of both blue and green, then maybe you are neutral. So this is that side. As you can see, I'm getting a more like dewy finish. This is why I really love this though. So depending on your skin prep, like as far as like primers, if you would have went with like a more mattifying primer, I think your foundation would have came off looking a little bit more like mattified. Because I used the hydrating and I also went in with my moisturizer, it gives me a more dewier look, and this is what I like to lean towards. I like a more dewy finish because it looks more like skin. So if you like your foundation to look more like skin, then definitely moisturize. Depending on the foundation, you can definitely still get like a dewy finish. But if you have oily skin, you want to lean more towards like soft matte. If you want to do your finish, I think leaning towards a soft matte would be preferred instead of like full coverage. Some foundations just look really drying, and I am not a fan of that at all. For more sheer coverage, I'm going to use the sponge. So dropping it on my face kind of gives me an idea of how much I'm covering, as opposed to just like putting it on my hand and constantly having to like squeeze, but putting it directly on the face, it works for me. A lot of people don't do that. So as you can see, this is giving it even more of a like skin-like finish, because I'm not gonna lie, the brush gave it a nice look as well. I've been hearing a lot about the Fenty Beauty, so as far as it being like a matte, if you do have oily skin, I would suggest you try that as well. I haven't tried it yet, but I definitely plan on trying it. So as you can see, like I done drifted all off into the other side of my face. This is what I like. Like I like to use a sponge, so I want to make my face look as natural as possible. A lot of people, because of the trend that's going on, that real like cake face look, which is, you know, okay if that's what suits you. I'm more of a natural person sometimes. You can go in and set it with powder. At this point, like I'm just showing you guys applying foundation. I don't want to get into anything more up until I make another video, because I want to make sure that you guys are grasping everything that I am giving you guys in this video. The next step would possibly be like concealer, if that's what you're into, but you can definitely just leave out of the house like this. This is why I like more like natural looks, because you could just get up and go. So if you are a person who works a job and just want to be like a little natural at work, but you know, just a little flawless, you know, whatever, this is for you. I'm gonna set it with a powder, preferably a translucent powder. So if you are oily and you need to blot, or you know, need to touch up, I would recommend a translucent powder. They also have blotting powders and pressed powder forms, translucent, stuff like that. Make sure you invest in that. So the powder that I am going to use is the Krylon translucent powder. I actually got this from school. I didn't know for a long time that this was like the bomb.com. So I just one day like ended up using it, and I'm like, oh my god, I've been missing out. So if you can get your hands on this, I would definitely recommend it. I like it. This is what it looks like in the inside. I don't want to like spill it, but it just looks white, but when it goes on the skin, it's like translucent, so it's gonna look like your skin tone. I'm gonna use this Real Techniques blush brush, I think it is, and apply it. I really want to find a different brush, like a powder brush to use, but I haven't like purchased any powder brushes, so this is the brush that I'm gonna use right now. So I'm gonna dip it into the powder, tap off the excess, and apply it, and you're gonna see my skin go from like dewy to like a matte, still giving me like a skin like appearance. You see that compared to this side? I'm gonna set the whole face just so I give you guys an idea. So I'm kind of like pressing that into the skin and then moving it around, pressing it, moving it around. So if you get too much in one spot, you can definitely like move it around, if that makes sense. This is me setting my foundation. You see how it still gives me like that glow from within, even with me setting it with powder. I think that's really cool. It's all about skin prep, so make sure that you are picking up the right things to apply before you apply your foundation. You want to definitely moisturize. Even if you have oily skin, moisturizing is very important. Make sure that you are cleaning your face properly, so that you're not experiencing like breakouts. Make sure you moisturize. Like that is very, very important. Even if you are like the oiliest person in the world, you want to make sure that you are moisturizing your skin. That's very important. Make sure you're priming. If you are oily, you want to get a more mattifying primer. If you are dealing with like large pores, you want to get a poreless primer or a smoothing primer. For aging skin or wrinkles, smoothing works as well. They have different things for different people, so I'm sure if you like were to go to a makeup counter, they would definitely help you out as far as what you need. Make sure you're letting these people know exactly what your problems are, what you're dealing with, and they're gonna definitely tell you exactly what you need to know. If they are experienced or if they do know what they are talking about, I would suggest that you guys just learn your skin, figure out what it is that you need, and then go from there. I would like to thank you guys for watching. I hope that this video was very helpful to you. Make sure you check out all of my social media platforms. I will have them linked in this video somewhere, so make sure you check those out. And as soon as I can upload a new video with this beginner series, something like concealer, or just learning like eyebrows, I have a million videos on eyebrows. I'll link them somewhere in the video above. Concealer, contour, and highlighting, I have a million videos on contour and highlighting, so if you want to check those out, I'll also link that above as well. And just let me know what else you would like to see. Like, that is very important to me, that I'm giving you guys what you want to see. So if there's anything that you would like to see, please make sure that you are commenting and letting me know. I need feedback. Like, that is very important to me, that I am doing what I'm here to do, like teach you guys if I can. Like, comment, and subscribe, and make sure you're hitting the bell so that you are getting notified every time I upload. I'll see you guys in my next video. Peace.